Interim city manager's report.
I just passed out to the City Council a set of bullet points that I wanted to also put up on the overhead here so that residents could follow this, and let me zoom in on it for a minute. This concerns a proposed closure of the San Francisco-bound on-ramp to Interstate 80 at Powell Street. And there was information that came out recently in a committee meeting, and there were some emails that went back and forth. And I wanted to make sure that the council and the citizens had the full information here about what's being proposed. And there's also a potential some guidance that you could provide to staff and to Caltrans tonight as a result of this. So I'll just quickly walk you through what this project is about. This concerns a mitigation project for the Bay Bridge reconstruction. And what it will do is gather all of the water that currently flows, rainwater that flows off of the freeway that goes directly into the bay. It'll gather it up in a pipe through a pump station that goes to a settlement and filtering pond next to EB Mud treatment plant. It will filter the rainwater and then allow it to go to the bay. So it's an environmental enhancement that was a condition of the environmental impact report for the Bay Bridge freeway. How it affects the ramp is that there are inlets on the ramp that need to be reconstructed. There's a new pipe that needs to be constructed next to the ramp. There's the pump station, and then there's the staging involved in that. So you need to have equipment, trucks, and so forth actually on the ramp while that work is going on. So Caltrans is proposing to work during the night on one of its shifts. And they also have the ability under the contract that they've already executed with the contractor to have them stop in the morning during the AM commute and then restart during the non-commute hours in the morning and then stop in the afternoon. And what they're asking for and what we're recommending is that they have the ability to continue working a second shift through that morning commute period. They would still then stop around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and the afternoon commute would not be affected, nor would the weekend use of the ramp. So what that would do, if we were to agree to that, is that it would decrease the duration of the ramp closure time in approximately half. So from 40 days down to about 20 days. And what it would do is inconvenience morning commuters, particularly from Watergate, trying to get on to the freeway to go to San Francisco. They would have to use the hook ramp instead and make a left turn. But the amount of time involved in that would be less. And as you can see on here, there's been some traffic counts that have been done on that ramp usage, I think by Caltrans. And you'll see that the AM commute period of time is the lightest at 600 vehicles per hour. And the heaviest time of the ramp usage is in the afternoons and on the weekends, which you'll see in that next bullet point here, is 850 to 1,500 vehicles per hour. And during that heavier period of time, the ramp would remain open even if we encourage them to close it in the morning. So if you were to agree to that, then you would decrease the duration of time. And then also there's been some discussion at the Transportation Committee about closing the ramp, and so it would provide an opportunity to see what that means and for us to do some traffic counts. So that's our recommendation. Since this is this is not an action item, it's a city manager's report. If you don't agree with that approach and you want to have it as an action item, then I would suggest you give direction to staff to put it on the next agenda for February 6th, and we can actually have a full discussion about it and a decision by the council. But if you're comfortable with going forward tonight with AM
Patrick,
closure, then we could do that.
Consistent with the capital improvement approvals, we were looking at the possibility of a bridge across I-80 at Temescal Creek there, and would any of the work that they're doing there preclude that possibility, or can that be examined while they're doing this work to see if it could be compatible?
Well, that proposed bridge, I think you authorized a study to be done for that, and we haven't started that yet, and this work will be done before that study starts.
Okay, but I'd hate to see them put in improvements that would impair the ability to build a bridge there, so...
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
It would not. You're
Could
just
they-
changing the drainage of the existing ramp, that's all.
Is there any way that we could make them aware that we're considering such a project over there? Just
I sent Bijan an email back in September or August, so
okay.
there. Mayor Davis, I had a comment about the traffic counts. It's my understanding that this ramp, I mean, you'll notice that the high-end calculation is 1,500 vehicles per hour. I think it's fair to assume that those 1,500 vehicles are not coming from Watergate every hour. And I've learned that vehicles come to that ramp from all different parts of the Bay Area because of the perceived or the actual advantage of getting on and getting to San Francisco from that ramp. People are coming from 580, and instead of going straight to the bridge, they'll actually go towards Berkeley and get off at Powell and then drive out to the marina and make the U-turn. People are coming from, let's say, El Cerrito, and they get off to use the frontage road instead of staying on the freeway because they gain a few minutes. And also, of course, from east of Emeryville, people come down Powell, and instead of using the hairpin on-ramp, they'll drive out and make a U-turn and come back. And so I think it would be so incredibly valuable to do very precise traffic counts so that, because the survey that is going on my website, a lot of people in the comments section are anticipating a huge traffic nightmare if the ramp is closed. And so this is an incredible opportunity to test what will happen. And my guess is that not only will it not be a huge nightmare, but it could even be better, because all of these cars that are coming in the morning commute, and my guess is that the afternoon commute, which is actually heavier, again, they're coming from somewhere else. And so it would be great to be able to prove that with traffic counts. And it's not simply traffic counts on this particular ramp. It's for all of the sources around the Powell interchange. So I identified in an email message to staff, I identified about a half a dozen very precise places that need to be counted, because if the ramp is closed, all of those will go down. All the counts, for example, it would be very valuable to have a count on the exit ramp, the eastbound exit ramp, because if there's a reduction there, that indicates that those people that are coming in the opposite direction are no longer doing so to take advantage of that ramp because they know they can no longer do that. So I would love to get my colleagues' approval for these half dozen precise traffic count locations.
I would support that. You know, 90% of the people that use that ramp are coming from out of town. I mean, because the places in town just don't do that much business.
I think what Mr. O'Keefe is asking us now is whether we want to schedule this as an agenda item
Yeah,
in the
okay.
next meeting,
Do that.
or whether he would have the ability to move forward with Caltrans on the Caltrans proposal. What is the pleasure of the council? How are you responding to Mr. O'Keefe?
I think that it makes sense to go with what the staff recommendation is.
Okay.
But if this closure is coming imminently, then it's vital that we get a baseline count at all these places. And so,
Well, I think it's important that all the information that Caltrans has, Patrick, if we could ask Bijan that we get all those traffic counts that they've made.
they're not going to.
They're baseline counts.
Right, but they're counting only on that one on-ramp. And I would like to get baseline counts from all of the 6 points that I think are important.
Why don't we just do that at the Transportation Committee and then forward it to the council?
Yeah, why don't, that's good, okay.
That's good if this closure is not imminent. Do we have any idea of when?
To February.
February when? Early February?
We don't have an exact date, but I think we have enough time to get the counts that you're looking for if the council's interested in doing that.
Okay, that's why I'm pushing this now, because I'm worried about the timing. We need to get
Well-
a baseline for 2 weeks before.
Okay, I'm interested in those
Okay.
counts.
So I would make a motion for that.
Well,
Is
it's,
that appropriate?
it's
No,
not on
no,
the
no, it's not
agenda.
on the agenda,
Okay.
but
We
certainly
will proceed, definitely. We understand where you're all
get
coming
the
from. We'll
direction.
proceed.
The
and-
more information, discrete information we get about that intersection, the better decisions we can make. Patrick, do you have anything else in your manager's report?
No, thank you.
Mayor, I'm just sorry, but if we're going to make this a valid traffic count, we need to do it during the
Before.
closure and either before or after
No,
the
you do a
closure.
baseline
We've gotta
first,
do
and then you
both-
do it
both
during the
times.
2
closure.
weeks before, through the whole thing, and 2 weeks after.
There may not be
All right.
time to get it done before, but it may have to be after.
I have a request for the council